Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here. So today's video is going to be kind of a recap of all the movement guides I've made in the past couple of weeks to just have a full movement guide in a single video as opposed to having multiple tutorials. So if people are looking for movement guides, then this one will have pretty much everything that they need. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this. Alright, so first thing is first, you can see two different overlays on your screen right now. So the first one in the top left hand corner is to show you guys the velocity, so that shows you how fast you are going in game. And then we have my mouse and keyboard overlay to give you guys a little bit of a visual feedback as to what the keybinds I'm pressing are to successfully bunny hop in Apex Legends. Alright, so first things first, just to show you guys velocity examples, the maximum velocity you can get by walking is 199.52, and then the maximum velocity you can get by running is 299. And as you can see, when you're turning corners, you do end up going a lot slower than your maximum run speed, so which is kind of expected. Now, moving on to key bindings to pulling off a successful bunny hop. So first and foremost, you're going to want to be using the hold to crouch button keybind. So as you can see now, I'm holding control to stay crouched. If I let it go, I come back up. I do also have a toggle crouch button, which would be C, but for bunny hopping, I don't use that. Next, you're going to want to put your jump button on something that you're comfortable with. Now, a lot of people use the scroll wheel to jump to do successful bunny hops, but I just find it not very natural for me. My muscle memory doesn't push me to go to the scroll wheel when jumping, so I just left it on the spacebar. But if you're comfortable having the jump button set to your scroll wheel, then by all means, do it. So, a lot of people say that you also need to let go of the W key to bunny hop. I didn't find this to be the case. I just keep the W key down when I'm bunny hopping, and it works just as fine. Now, this is probably one of the better places to practice your bunny hopping because it is a very flat surface and you can do, wide sweeping turns. So, let's get into the tutorial. Now, to bunny hop, you're obviously going to be wanting to go at maximum speed on your sprinting. Now, you can bunny hop just straight like this, but you end up losing a lot of momentum very quickly. The best way to bunny hop is to do wide sweeping turns like this. And as you can see, you do gain momentum and end up going faster than if you were just sprinting or trying to turn a corner by looking that way, which can get you out of sticky situations because you are a lot slower when turning corners when you're simply sprinting. As you can see, it's going down all the way to like 150 velocity, but if you were doing it while you were bunny hopping, you can see it never goes down but below 200, except of course when you're doing like a 180. So now that we got the basics down, what can bunny hopping do for you? So bunny hopping, as I said, can help you get away from enemies when you're trying to turn corners, or it can even give you a little bit of a speed boost and make it so that you're not moving as slow when you're healing. So if you're just running and then you start healing, as you can see, you go all the way down to a turtle like 104.10 velocity. Now you can bunny hop while healing, but they did nerf this. I think it was in season 2 or 3. It used to be a lot easier to bunny hop while healing, but they nerfed it quite a bit. So when you get into the bunny hop, you can start healing, and you see you get a little bit more speed than what you would get if you were just normally walking, but it's still not as quick as it used to be, and it's a lot more difficult to pull off, but it can get you around a corner and, behind cover just enough to get you away from that fire, and then you can just keep up the heal and end it without being in harm's way. So as I said, you can bunny hop straight ahead like this, but you do end up losing a lot of momentum and you're not going as fast as if you would implement a wide sweeping turns as I did. So to bunny hop, what you want to do, you want to press the input of the direction you want to go and aim your mouse that way. As you're seeing on screen right now, when I'm going to the right, I hold D and I look to the right, and when I'm going to the left, I hold A and I point my mouse to the left, which gives you a lot more momentum and increases your speed as opposed to just going straight like this, which you're going to end up pretty much just going, dead speed. There's this big wall here that you can easily wall jump off of, and I think it's probably the easiest spot to learn how to wall jump. And then when you learn the basics of wall jumping, you can practice jumping off of different, surfaces such as these dummies here or like these broken rock surfaces, and just learn and practice the wall jumping in of itself. So There are a couple ways you can complete a wall jump. So obviously you have to have some momentum, some running momentum. If not, if you're just walking up to a wall like this and trying to jump off, you're going to get a very, very small wall jump, which obviously isn't really what you want. You want those really nice long wall jumps that allow you to get over objects and even over enemies. So as you can see, there's an on-screen keyboard and mouse display allowing you to maybe visualize a little bit the key inputs that I'm using to complete a wall jump. So first, you're going to want to get some running momentum, and when you're just not crouch sliding into a wall jump, sometimes I find it doesn't all work all that great. Like, you can get these nice lobbed wall jumps when doing that, but sometimes I feel it just pushes you off more than anything else, and then sometimes you end up actually wall climbing. So I find the best way to wall jump is actually crouch sliding into the wall and then jumping like that, which gives you a nice long and powerful wall jump off of that wall that gives you the, in my opinion, the maximum amount of velocity. So we're going to start off with probably the easier ones. So the first one is called, or at least I like to call it, the zipline boost. So this allows you to go from pretty much stationary to moving at a decent velocity in a very short amount of time. So all you need to do is, for this example, we're going to use this vertical zipline. You need to attach to the zipline and then straight away press the spacebar in the direction that you want to go, and then you get a nice boost in movement, and you actually cover some pretty decent distance. And this allows you to, you know, just mess around with enemies a little bit, get some extra distance if you're trying to get away from someone, and it just throws people off and is a really easy extra movement mechanic to implement into your day-to-day game that just, you know, improves your game and allows you to escape people or go from stationary to moving or change directions really fast. So very useful to have. You can also do this with a horizontal zipline, which would allow you to get a vertical boost and jump really high up into the air. Now this one's a little bit more difficult to complete, and you might need to practice it a little bit more. And generally speaking, there aren't a whole lot of ziplines that are pretty much only flat surface like this, where you can literally go from ground to zipline to boost jump. Most of them are kind of like really high up in the air like this, where you have a very small area to actually do the vertical boost jump. But I'm going to show you what it looks like right here. So you just go like that. I missed it right there, but once you get it down, it gives you a nice vertical jump, kind of like that. And you can use it to, you know, bamboozle your enemies or get some really cool plays. Next, we're going to talk about the redirect. So what this is basically you're redirecting your forward momentum to cut a really tight corner while you're doing a crouch, slide, and then jump. So if we're using this corner here, what you would do, crouch, slide, jump, redirect your momentum to go around the corner. We can also do it from the other side. So obviously same thing, but the other side around, crouch, slide, jump. I messed that up right there. Do this again, crouch, slide, jump, redirect. So basically what you're doing, you're taking all that forward momentum and reapplying it to the direction you want to go. So how you do this, you start and you get your maximum run speed, which is 299, crouch, jump, redirect. How do you redirect? You point your back to the direction that you want to go, and then you hit either the ASD keys or the DSA keys, depending on which side you're going. So if we were going here, we'd go ASD, and if we're doing it from the other side, we would go DSA. Always while pointing your back to the direction that you want to go. So you take all that forward momentum, you reapply it, and go the other direction to cut some really tight corners like this. You can bamboozle enemies, get to cover really quickly, turn corners that people didn't think you would be able to make, and that just allows you to throw off your enemies. And at the end of the day, you want to win that firefight, so everything that you can do to get the upper edge is great. Next, we're going to talk about ledge boosting. Now, this is by far the most difficult one out of all of them, even more than bunny hopping and wall jumping. So basically, what you want to do is when you're going up to a wall like this, obviously your momentum is 0 because you're stuck on this wall. What you would typically do is, you know, climb this wall and then keep going. What ledge boosting allows you to do is the first step you take when you're on top of this, like for example, pillar, you're going at your maximum run velocity, and you can use that velocity to go into a crouch slide and get a decent amount of distance, as well as, you know, don't get that downtime where you have to start running again. So as I said, timing is key for this one, and it is very difficult to master. I haven't mastered it yet. I still fail a lot, but I still try and do it every now and then. And it looks really cool when you get it done. So you start running, you climb, and then you implement a crouch jump into it, which would look, if I can get it here, something like that. So as you can see, it is difficult and the timing is everything, so you need to practice a lot in order to get it down, but you can implement this in fights and get away from enemies very quickly and they won't even know what hit them. Alright, so now we're going to talk about chaining movement mechanics together. So here you could chain a wall bounce with a redirect to get you on top of the ledge or even over the wall. This of course is provided that you've practiced enough and can, consistently get off wall bounces and redirects without too much difficulty. But what you want to do is, again, just redirect your momentum of that wall bounce. Instead of going up and away from the wall, all you would do is go up and onto the wall. So I'll show you here what it would look like. Hopefully I nailed this on the first try so I don't look like an idiot, but you guys will see. It would look something like this. You used the wall bounce momentum to redirect your movement and momentum to get on top of the ledge. Now, timing here is everything. You want to hit the wall bounce on the apex of your jump, kind of like that. So you see I wall bounced off the wall kind of like here and not like here, because you wouldn't get enough upward momentum to actually get on top of the ledge. You would just end up, either just wall bouncing off the wall straight up, or what you would end up doing is climbing the wall, kind of like what I did here, instead of just using the momentum to redirect yourself up onto the wall. Now again, this is kind of more difficult to master and you're going to need to practice a lot before you start implementing this into your games, but it can be very useful, and when executed properly, it looks really cool. But anyways, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.